In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how you can maximize your returns on a stable pair DLLM. We're going to be using a DLLM with low fees and low bin steps, and we're going to utilize the curve strategy within Meteora. If you guys are looking to optimize your liquidity provision and earn more fees with the stable pairs that you guys have, then you've come to the right video. Nothing in this video is financial advice. This is purely for educational purposes and entertainment purposes. So let's get started. To start off with, we're going to talk about some of the theory, and afterwards, I will show you guys a live example of me setting up one of these and how you would manage one of these as well. To start off with, let's first talk about what DLLMs are. DLLMs let you provide liquidity for a DEX, and they let you do this in a dynamic way. The dynamic aspect to the DLLMs is the fact that you can break down your capital into smaller bins, and you can concentrate your liquidity in a specific price range. Stable pairs like USDC, USDT are pairs where both tokens have almost the same value, which means there's minimal risk of impermanent loss, making it a safer option for liquidity provision. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that we're going to be using the curve strategy. So let's talk about exactly what that is and why are we using a curve strategy for our stable pair DLLM. The curve strategy focuses your liquidity around the most likely trading prices, maximizing your returns. With stable pairs like USDC, USDT, the price usually fluctuates within a very narrow range. By concentrating your liquidity in this particular range, you can collect more fees. For our DLLM position, what we're going to do is we're going to use one of the existing DLLMs because the particular DLLM that we're interested in already exists. And that particular DLLM is one that has low fees, low bin steps. That is the particular thing that we're interested in. Once we set up our position, it's going to be important to monitor it and manage it actively, especially if we've set a very tight range, because that tight range is where we're going to get the most amount of alpha. And that is where we're going to get the most amount of fees from. So because of that, that range can get out of place. And so when it gets out of place, we need to kind of put it back in place. So for that, you need to monitor it and manage it. And I'll show you how to do that too. Now that we've gone through the theory side of things, let's look at a live example on the Meteora platform. So to start off with, let's go to DLMs and look for the USDC USDT pair. So we have the pair here, and you can see all the different pools that are available in here. The one that we're interested in is the one with the 1 bin step and 0.01 fees. So it's the first one, so we'll choose that. And when we choose it, we're going to add a position. And here what we want to do is we want to select the curve strategy, and we want to add a split of 50-50 for USDC and USDT. At the moment, I have 1K worth of USDC, and I don't have any USDT. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the terminal, and I'm going to split up this 1K. So that's 50-50. Let's do that. So let's approve this and wait for this to go through. Okay, so that's done. Now I have 50-50 of USDC and USDT. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to max out USDC and USDT. We might have to reload this. Okay. There we go. So we're going to add 50% of USDC and 50% of USDT. And we're going to choose the curve strategy. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to narrow this down into a very tight range. So at the moment, by default, you can see that the range is pretty vast. And so if we leave the range this way, the amount of fees that we're going to generate is going to be minimal, because our capital has been spread in this entire range. So what we want to do is we want to concentrate our capital into a very tight range. So that is what we're going to do here. And that is what we've been talking about doing. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to make it a very tight range like this. And when we make it a tight range like this, you can see the amount of money that is going in to each one of these pools, or each one of these bins. Each one of these is a single bin because the bin step that we chose was 1. So you can see the capital that is going into each one of these. If we were to expand this, you'll see that the amount of capital going into each one is lower because we are spreading out the capital, right? So that is the point here. We want to try and concentrate it as much as we can. So we'll concentrate it like this, let's say, and we're going to add liquidity. It's okay. And now at this point, we pretty much have our DLM set up. And so from this point, what we're going to be doing is on a daily basis, once or twice a day, we're going to check our position and ensure that it is within that range. So this is the range that it's currently in. And all we do is we check that it's within that range. And if it gets out of range, it's just a matter of withdrawing and adding in again into a tight range again, but within the new range to where the price has gone. And so that is all. That is all it takes to set this thing up. And once you have it up and running, like I said, depending on how tight you make the range, you will either be checking it once or twice a day. If you make it wide, you won't be checking it as often, but you won't be generating as much fees either. So that is the problem there. So if you have the ability to check it once a day, then you're incentivized to make this range as tight as possible, because that is the way you'll generate the most amount of fees. There you have it. By using the curve strategy with low bin steps and low fees on a stable pair like USDC, USDT, you can maximize your returns while minimizing your risk. It's a great way to put your capital to use and make it work for you while you wait for those opportunities to show up. If you found this video helpful, I would appreciate you guys letting me know. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching.